Good evening. Dawn Reinhardt coming on in. And sorry, got a little bit of allergy problems tonight. So my apologies. I might have to blow my nose and you might get a sneeze here and there. So I am sorry. They're trying to work out my allergy medicine, and I will be getting into an allergist soon, I hope, which will be really good for me because nobody likes allergies. Nobody. All right. So we are going to get into chapters 16 and 17 tonight. We are getting so close to finishing this book. Holy moly. Hi, Laura. I was going to text you after this. I was, because I was thinking about you. I hope you're home and doing well. I miss you, my friend. I do. And if you need anything, I will be there. So, anyway, let me do a little housekeeping, okay? So, we are starting the book shortly. I want to go over a few things first. If you are coming on and seeing this live, there is a red live button up in the top corner. Just say hi and let me know that you're here. I would appreciate it. If you are so inclined, because you find that this book reading is helpful to you and maybe helpful to anybody else, you can shine this, which actually goes for the lower button in the left-hand corner, which actually rhymes with care. We don't like to say the word. It is share. But you can shine this out to your page, to your group pages, or to anywhere, so that your friends and family or whatever may be able to enjoy this as well. All right? So, goodness, we are going to be finishing this book so fast. And thanks for joining, Tony. Give me just a second here. I'm going to take a drink with this whistle. And let's get into 2 chapters tonight. So this is part 5, Looking Closer. Chapter 16 is Enhancing Our View. There are, oh shoot, just a minute. I'm sorry. Hang on. My daughter just wrote me. Send a text message to Jordan Reinhardt.
What do you want to say?
Please get me to.
Okay, I'll send this.
Sorry, she texted me right in the middle of this. She's picking me up some keto breakfast sandwiches at Costco, and then she's going to come over. Golly, sorry. I don't normally let this happen. Sorry about that. Hi, Jessica. All right, so chapter 16, Enhancing Our View. There are always flowers for those who want to see them. That was said by Henry Matisse. The first television was invented in 1927. The inventor, Philo Taylor Farnsworth, was only 21 years old. Nobody cared that the picture was black and white. Black and white was all they knew, and it was exciting. Seeing in black and white. I've been known to cut people off when I'm driving. I don't cut people off because I'm trying to be rude. No, I'm not a good enough driver to be purposely unkind. I cut people off because my brain is thinking 73 thoughts at once, and sometimes I am completely oblivious to the other driver's presence. Whew, scary. What store had produce on sale today? How many minutes until I need to pick up Sam from preschool? What am I making for dinner? Did I close the garage door? What if I forget to write something important in my book? When was the last time Rob and I went on a date? What is Lydia sticking up in her nose back there? I think those were the million thoughts she was having at once. During one particular incident, the other driver screamed profanities at me, which I didn't understand, and gifted me the middle finger. While I am always striving to be a more courteous driver, I mostly try to remember the profanities so I could ask Rob what they all meant when I saw him. I came home and received the protective validation from my husband that I wanted. We conclude the other driver was a jerk. Drivers like me make Rob crazy, but when it's me getting yelled at, he's more angry that someone else swore at his wife. I did feel wronged. I told myself the other driver was mean, and I was nice. I was thinking in black and white. Black and white thinking is thinking about people in absolutes, good or bad, meaning nice, wrong, or right. Black and white thinking denies the ability to hold more than one emotion at one time. When I think in black and white, there is no in between. False safety. By thinking of myself as good and the other driver as bad, I feel safe. I elevate myself above the rude, embarrassing behavior I just witnessed. And I like feeling safe when I get to think about people in black and white. But the problem with feeling safe in black and white thinking is this. All of us will experience situations that don't make sense in black and white. Life is too complicated for just two colors. Can I get an amen on that? I grew up watching families whose parents got divorced. It's hard to admit, but deep down, I assumed those families were doomed for unhappiness. My parents went through a divorce 3 years ago. I became part of the severed family. Do I engage in the black and white thinking that my brain feeds me? Family where parents stay together are always happy. Families with divorced parents are bound to be miserable. Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. All of a sudden, things feel confusing. My situation doesn't fit neatly in my black and white mindset. Life hardly ever turns out how we think it will. While I do believe in some absolute truths, my experience continues to teach me that this existence is messy and complicated, and that's not so bad, but what it is real. What's interesting about thinking in black and white to feel safe is that actually you're not safe at all. When we thrive in black and white thinking, we can fall flat on our face when we discover that the way of thinking doesn't hold up. Maybe we learn that our boss at work has been embezzling money from the company, all while being an incredible leader that taught integrity to his employees. Maybe our spouse breaks a promise. Maybe we make a mistake that goes against what we teach our children. Black and white thinking won't save us in these situations. Black and white thinking makes hard things harder. When there is no room in our brain for multiple feelings and multiple realities happening all at once, shocking experiences can demolish our belief system and leave us saying the all too famous sentiments of, I don't know what I believe anymore. When we allow ourselves to feel multiple emotions, we are able to come to the table with an open mind instead of thinking in absolutes. An open mind leaves room and time to find what is true. Multiple emotions at once. I got a lot of ear infections as a kid. I would wake up in the middle of the night with my ears throbbing. They hurt so much. The only thing that helped the pain was a blow dryer. I spent many nights lying in my mother's arms as she held a heated blow dryer close to my ear. The heat soothed the pain. I loved the one-on-one attention from my mom. She sang "The Ants Go Marching In" and patted my back with a steady beat. I soothe my own children with the same patting rhythm. Both I, as the child, and my mother experienced more than one emotion during those nights with the ear infections. We both hated that I was miserable, and we both loved the time to bond. I feel the same way with my children. I passed on my bad ears, as they have suffered with ear infections since birth, before getting tubes in their ears. Hallelujah. I spent many hours holding them through the throbbing pain. They didn't want to do anything but be held. We watched movies together, took naps together, read books together, and I hated seeing my babies suffer, and I did love the snuggles that came with it. We can feel more than one good thing at a time, which means we can recognize that people make both good and bad decisions. Seeing in color. In 1954, America watched as Michigan State Spartans beat the UCLA Bruins 28-20 in full color. The annual Rose Bowl football game was the first color cast, and television watching would never be the same. Seeing in color is recognizing the complexities of another's circumstance and feeling compassion for them. I think we can agree that when I cut off the driver, his response was less than compassionate. But what I am thinking in black and white, I'm not being compassionate either. My brain says, what a punk. That driver is a bad person. I would never do that. But here's where it gets complicated. What if that person is coming from the hospital after losing a loved one? What if he just lost his job? What if he just exchanged harsh words with a parent? What if he doesn't think anybody sees him? Oops, that got complicated real fast. Would that knowledge change the fact that his actions were unkind? Yeah, it could. Maybe no, but when I picture the possible reasons for his outburst, things don't feel very clear to me. It's unsettling because all of a sudden I'm feeling one of the big C's. Compassion. Oh, crap. Another C word, I say, a lot. Seeing people in color takes intentions at first, but it doesn't take long before your eyes perfect it. Colored vision helps us see people who need us. I can feel compassion for the angry driver and feel hurt for his comments. I don't have to choose. He's not bad and he's not good. He just is. What will come when we choose to see people in color instead of black and white? We're going to see people everywhere. And it will feel like freedom. Oops, sorry, got a hair. It'll feel like freedom now because we don't have to play tug of war with our emotions. We can let them all show up all at once. We might even have room to notice the good others have to offer. Ooh, seeing in high definition. In 1998, we were all blown away when high-def television came out, HD TV. The world watched the first HD TV broadcast that year, the launch of the space shuttle Discovery and John Glenn's return to space. To date, John was the oldest person to go into space at age 77. The world watched the space mission in high definition. Seeing in high definition is recognizing the strengths people have to offer. So now we're not just seeing them. Now we see the strengths people have to offer. Black and white thinking to color to high def. In the last few years, Rob has started wearing glasses with a slight prescription. He often looks at me and says, "Whoa, Julie's in high def." I like to think he's seeing me, not only in color, but with greater vibrancy. My eyes are bluer, and let us hope that my teeth are whiter too. Seeing people in high def means that we're able to not only recognize the complicated circumstances of their lives, color, but we can recognize the gifts which they have, which benefit the world, high definition. We become teachable to the lessons they have to offer. Remember how a lot of us felt when we finished the film Avatar? Looking around, our world looked dull in comparison. In the mind-blowing, colorful world we had just witnessed, the Navi people were so blue and the flowers were so red. That's the kind of high definition I want for my life and yours too. I saw that and I agree. That place was so colorful. And in comparison, our world looked pretty simple. Finding the truth in others. I was listening to an Oprah interview where she was talking to a famous actor while doing my dishes. Before the interview began, I had stereotyped the celebrity in my head as a person who lacked authenticity and deep thinking. I assumed he was fake because of his money and fame. I had watched him on the big screen and I knew some of the roles he had played. I watched him say and do things I wouldn't do. The personal choices he made didn't agree with mine. From the outside, his moral code looked different than mine, and part of me thought, there isn't anything I can gain from listening to his interview. I told myself I should be listening to someone who was more in line with my moral belief system. But I listened. The longer I listened to the interview, the more I found myself liking this actor. I found the interview both powerful and uplifting. I felt more committed to my own beliefs. The interview helped me pause to ponder my love for God and all human beings. It was a heartwarming 30 minutes of my life, and it was well spent. This experience didn't fit in a neat package with a bow. I questioned myself. Why was I experiencing so much inner turmoil about listening to an interview that was creating positive feelings? Over time, the answer dawned to me. I was thinking in black and white. Either I listen to people who match my belief system identically, or I'm listening to something I shouldn't. Ooh, life is not that simple. It's almost as if I was listening to the actor and thinking, what a waste. He has such good advice. It's too bad he's automatically wrong, because I don't agree with all of his decisions. That, my friends, is black and white thinking. Someone can be wrong about one thing and right about another. While it seems obvious, we can subconsciously forget this principle. We each have a light to share, and we also make mistakes. I can be speaking to an audience and say something that is pure truth, and people feel the truth so hard. They feel it resonate to their bones. And 1 hour later, I can be at home belittling my husband. The fact that I belittled my husband 1 hour later does not take away from the fact that what I said to the audience is still true. But my critical thoughts like to tell me that I have no place sharing light that night when I was so quick to make a mistake. It's false. We live in a world of complex, beautiful, surprising people. And I'm glad on a day that I was able to stop myself from thinking in black and white and take in the truth the actor was teaching and reaped the benefits of his life lessons. I learned and was able to see him as someone like me now, a fellow traveler on his journey of life, doing the best he can. I was taught a powerful truth that day. Just because someone acts or thinks differently than us does not mean that they don't have truth to share. Cue the Pocahontas soundtrack. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. A mantra in the meditation world is just be. Truth is, the expert of what it means to just be is truth is truth. Truth is unemotional. Truth is not loaded with judgments or fear. Truth just is. Truth always will be. If we look for it, we will see that people all have varieties and have pieces of truth to offer us. One constant thing I notice in all people I have met and interviewed is that they each have a history unlike any other story I have ever heard. Each person is fascinating, a compilation of unique life experiences. In my mind, a room full of distinct and complicated people with stories to share. Well, I can't think of a more beautiful sight. Can you? The fear of love. We are bound to love people more when we see them in high definition. We become more heavily invested in relationships, which creates more risk and vulnerability. Yeah, we can get hurt. That is how love works. All the same time, it's worth making that investment and taking the risk. In her book, The Fear of Flying, Erica Jong wrote, "Do you want me to tell you something really subversive? Love is everything it's cracked up to be. That's why people are so cynical about it. It's really worth fighting for, being brave for, risking everything for. And the trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk even more." Ooh, that was deep. Whew. I'm going to share that. After this, I'm going to share that quote. Holy moly. Ha, that one hit me. Whew, that one hit me. All right. Seeing people in high def will fill our lives with love and light. After all, we know we need light to see color, and yes, we do. It will open up our eyes to unending possibilities for friendships. The compassion that we feel for people who struggle is a gift worth fighting for. Seeing people as human beings who are doing their best with their hand they've been dealt will serve us well. The most exciting part of ditching black and white thinking is we no longer have to wait for others to be like us to see them. We can connect and be compassionate, all while standing firmly in what we believe. Compassion and consequences. I have a dear family friend who served as a district judge for close to a decade. In a recent conversation, he reminded me, compassion and love can mean in the appropriate circumstances letting the person hit rock bottom. There is good and bad behavior. When a stranger kidnaps a child at the playground, they are making a bad choice. Their complicated upbringing doesn't diminish their behavior. This is an important distinction to make. Seeing in color and high definition does not mean we excuse bad behavior. It means we have compassion for the person who made the choice and allow consequences to follow. No matter the person or the choice, there is always more to learn about people. The bottom line, black and white thinking creates a disconnection. We see people in color by recognizing the complexities of their lives and having compassion on them. This allows us to relate with them and to find common ground, which in turn forgoes connection. We see people in high definition when we recognize their strengths and how they benefit the world. Thank you. I absolutely love the conversation here on the black and white. I have known many people that do live in a black and white world and are not able to see in color. And this this last chapter really goes into why seeing in color is more important, because so much of life does not fit in a black and white world, right? Give me a second, I'm going to take a sip, and this is a day we're reading 2 chapters. So, this next chapter, and it's a short one, this one is, that's why I said we're going to do 2. This one is The Hand We Are Dealt. Do the best you can until you know better. Then you know better and do better. That's by Maya Angelou. Oh, isn't she just beautiful and smart? When I heard the rumor that Santa Claus wasn't real, I evaded the subject altogether. I was scared I had been wrong, that I'd believed in someone who only existed in my imagination. I chose to look at the possibility for years. But in the back of my mind, there lived a growing anxiety that there wasn't really a chubby man in a red suit who flew around the world in a sleigh. However, when I learned the truth about Santa, I also learned the truth about who had filled my stockings. I saw my parents in a new way. They were playing Santa Claus because they wanted to bring me joy. That news wasn't all bad. It took courage to sit my parents down and ask, is Santa real? But I decided I'd rather know the truth, even if it made me sad, rather than to believe in a myth. Brene Brown says, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot have both. While expanding our perspective on can sometimes be unsettling, the light it brings in changes how we see the people around us. As humans, we are constantly having to make judgments to inform our decisions. It's important to recognize that there's always more that meets the eye. There is more story, more meaning, and more humanity out there. Our cards. We each come to life's game table with a different deck of cards. Our cards are the components that affect how we see the world around us. The components can be where we grew up, our family of origin, our birth order, hereditary traits, our exposures to different people, our situations, our heartaches, our victories, our mental health, our physical health, all of it and more combine to create personal convictions. As we interact with others, sorry, I got an itch. It's impossible to know all the reasons they think or believe the way they do. We will never be able to truly walk a mile in their shoes. A mile would not be long enough to get the whole picture. And boy, isn't that true. We are all complicated beings. Most of us want to stand up for what we believe is right. What we term as right has a lot to do with the elements listed above. As we strive to see others, it's vital we remember that nobody's mind works exactly like ours, because nobody's story is exactly like ours. We each deserve compassion as we try to figure out this life together. If we are hesitant to listen to someone based on their causes they do or don't support, we can remember that our differences make us powerful. There are experiences from our lives that make us passionate about our convictions. I am passionate about seeing people because people saved my life by doing just that. Tim Ballard's passionate about saving children from trafficking because he was exposed to the horror of it. My brother and sister-in-law are passionate about giving blood because their daughter's life was dependent on blood transfusions. It's a good thing we each come to the table with a different deck of cards. Our unique convictions motivate us to make the world a better place. We need as many perspectives as possible to unify humanity, and we do. I love that we are all different, and I embrace that. I do. Finding more. I dragged myself to a workout class before the sun was out. I was surprised by the chipperness of the fitness instructor, who seemed unaware that it was 5:30 in the morning. Through the class, I questioned whether her positive encouragement was genuine or if she was playing the part because she thought the class expected it. After an hour of sweat and burpees, I concluded she was just playing a part. No one could truly feel that enthusiastic at that hour. I ran into the instructor a few weeks later. She recognized me from her class. As we introduced ourselves, I learned brand new information. She had been divorced twice. She's a single mom of 4 kids. And through her own challenges, she had learned the importance of self-compassion and self-development. She explained that her experiences were the reason she encouraged her classes the way she did. She had fought hard to love herself, and she extended that love to others. I walked away from our conversation feeling both inspired and a little sheepish. I had made an assumption about her based on one experience. I didn't know enough to make that verdict. And when I learned more about my instructor, I recognized I was wrong. She wasn't playing a part. She was teaching the self-compassion she fought for in her own life. Our perspective changes when we listen. It really does. It's easier to slap labels on people's heads. Bump! If you're a fan of The Office, you know the episode I'm thinking of. Rather than get to know them, yeah, it's easier. But we are looking for easy, looking for the truth about people. Oh, but we aren't looking for easy. We are looking for the truth about people. People who are different from us can widen our perspective and help us discover more truth. They can help us become the best, most well-informed version of ourselves. One of my favorite quotes comes from the Dr. Seuss book, The Sneetches. It's a story about a group of creatures who separate themselves by having or not having stars on their bellies. The Sneetches got really quite smart on that day, the day that they decided that the Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best of the beaches. That day, all the Sneetchers forgot about the stars and whether they had won or not upon theirs. Oh, how cute. I love that reference. When it comes to seeing people, no matter their opinions and actions, our first priority needs to be unconditional love. Other priorities can follow, but we should never allow them to overshadow our first. Most people are doing the best they can with the hand they've been dealt. We can each give each other a pass as we navigate the complicated human history. We can lean into curiosity together because one thing we know, there is always more to learn. The bottom line, we can look at people with wonder instead of criticism and watch our vision dramatically improve. Our perspective broadens when we are willing to learn. Truth will make itself known. The more we know, not less. And that's it. Look at this. We're almost done. Just a few more chapters. Holy moly. And you guys, if you get a chance, seriously, get this book. From start to finish, what this brings into your life is amazing, because this is compassion and connection and how it saves lives. So I See You by Julie Lee. Okay, buy the book. It's on Amazon. It is worthy, and it's one that I will read over and over again. This is my 3rd read for this book. And every time I read it, I get something a little new. Hi, Kenitra. But it covers how to become compassionate, how to reach out and get those connections again, and how to truly see people. And it is just absolutely amazing. It really is. I absolutely love the author, and I'm so glad to see, oops, I think my daughter might be here. I'm not sure. But yeah, so it's just, I keep getting hair in my eyes. I think I got my part mixed up. Yeah, I think I do. I think I got some of it on the wrong side. I don't know. We'll see. Something seems off. I do love this. I love this hair. It's just fun. Absolutely. Absolutely, my friend. So I enjoy spending my Sunday evenings with you guys. I think this book is incredible. and we're almost done. And I've got a couple of you guys that were interested in getting together after the book on a Zoom and discussing it. So again, if anybody's interested in getting on and talking about this book and learning to implement some of this stuff, right? Put Zoom in the comments, because I am trying to keep a running list of anybody that wants to get together to go through this, okay? Because it is. And maybe we can all take this book forward and teach other people how to truly see people and get those connections we need. You know, because we don't know whose life we'll be saving. Because I will tell you, somebody reached out and saved mine. And I will always, always want to pay this forward. And it's been an amazing experience. All right, and now I'm done, so I don't have to wear glasses right now. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining. I do. And I hope that you guys enjoy the book as much as I do. And have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening, my friends. And don't forget, if you feel so inclined, shine this video out. If you're new to me, please put #newbie. If you stopped in, again, I can't see everybody that joined because I was reading. If you came in for the book reading, at least drop a hi so I know that you stopped by. All right, because I do love to know who all came on. All right, thanks, and everybody, as always, please stay happy, healthy, and safe until I see you again. Talk to you guys Monday, all right? Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening, my friends. Mwah. Oh, look, no transfer. It is that good. All right, love you guys. Bye-bye.